Good evening, and thank you for attending the 9th Law Lecture Series, which Voiceless has put on. And I'd like to thank Manny and the team, the whole team at Voiceless, for the groundbreaking work they do and continue to do. I'm always delighted to see as many people as this. In fact, each year the numbers have increased, and it's like the Olympics. Each one's the best. My daughter Ondine, who is currently in Israel, sends her warmest regards. She is co-founder and joint managing director of Voiceless and the inspiration behind the organization. She sends her apologies for not being here, but Israel is 26 hours away plus by plane. I'd also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank my wife, Dr. Jean Sherman, who chairs the Voiceless Council when she's not submerged in the world of art and academia. The Voiceless Council is currently being reconfigured, and there's quite a bit of work going on. Over the years, the Voiceless Law Lecture Series has continued to grow from strength to strength, bringing together the animal protection community and delivering our message of compassion to an ever-increasing Australian audience. When Ondine and I first launched the lecture series 9 years ago, we intended it to become a forum to discuss new ideas and approaches in animal law. Indeed, this was a novel area of law in Australia at that time. In our view, building animal law was essential for better protecting the millions of animals held captive and suffering on factory farms, living in crates made of steel and cement. Surely, I said to myself, and Ondine said to herself, no sane lawyer or judge or legal student could really believe that animals were property, devoid of sentience, devoid of life. Since then, those ideas and approaches, once occupying only the space of animal law theory, are starting to be put into practice. Professor Stephen Wise, who's sitting up front here and about to give us a wonderful talk, clearly demonstrates, lives and breathes this point. 9 years ago, we brought Stephen over to speak about animal rights law, or what he referred to as animal slave law. Now Stephen has returned at our invitation to speak about this Herculean effort to free certain non-human animals from slavery, putting into practice those very principles and legal arguments that were only committed to academic textbooks or academic conferences. Such is the power of discussion and debate, its ability to translate into action. Building animal law continues to be one of Voiceless's major and main objectives. Through our Voiceless Grants program, which is the first program we started in Voiceless, which is now in its 11th year, we have financially supported over 100 animal protection initiatives, many of which relate to animal law. Individual grants have ranged from $1,000 to $100,000. Legal grants include projects aimed at encouraging animal law to be taught at universities, publishing animal law textbooks in academic journals, developing a national animal law curriculum, and establishing community legal centres that specialise in animal law. Each of these initiatives have contributed in some way to building animal law in Australia. Indeed, when Voiceless started, animal law was in its infancy. The infant is now growing up. Developments can also be seen across the animal protection movement. 11 years ago, animal rights was considered a dirty term. Now it is seen for what it is in truth, a movement against animal cruelty, compassion, and trying to reduce as much as is possible, animal suffering. I now would like to introduce one of those compassionate animal protection advocates, who in turn will introduce our guest speaker and good friend Stephen Wise. Stephen won't introduce anyone else, otherwise we'll be in a circle the whole night. Ken Henry, AC, is an economist, serving as the Secretary of the Department of the Treasury from 2001 to 2011. Ken has been influential in Australian and international economics for much of his career. He has worked alongside both Labour and Liberal governments, representing Australia at numerous international and intergovernmental economic forums. Ken currently sits as director on numerous boards, including the Australian Stock Exchange, and has been a member of the Voiceless Council since 2011, alongside his wife and fellow passionate animal advocate, Naomi Henry. I think, Naomi, you brought Ken into it. Here to introduce Stephen Wise and provide his own thoughts on our topic this evening, please join me in welcoming a dear friend of Voiceless, Dr. Ken Henry.